Hello juniors, and welcome back to Computer Systems and Programming. For this video we are going to be learning how to use mathematical operators in Python. So once you open the clips, you are going to make a new PyDev project called Mathematical Operators and download the mathoutline.py off of Canvas and then move that .py into the Mathematical Operators project folder and use that file to take notes while watching this video. So when working with mathematical operators, the structure is pretty simple. It is variables or your data plus the mathematical operator plus the variables or data. So you have a variable or data on one side, a mathematical operator, and then another variable. We are first going to be discussing addition. When we use addition, we are going to use the plus symbol. So an example would be x equals 4 plus 4. If you print x, the output will be 8. Another example is if you do y equals your, with the manual spacing right there, plus name, and you print y, the output will be your name. Now we are going to move on to subtraction. When we are working with subtraction, we are going to be using the minus symbol. So for an example, we have x equals 4 minus 4. If we print x, the output will be 0. Next is multiplication. When we are working with multiplication, we are going to use the star symbol. So you're going to do shift and the 8 key. So for an example, it will be x equals 4 times 4. And if we print x, the output will be 16. So another example, kind of like the concept video example, is x equals Samantha with that manual spacing right there times 2. If you print x, the output is going to give you Samantha with that spacing. Then we have division. We are going to be using the slash symbol, which is the same key as the question mark symbol. An example would be x equals 4 divided by 4. If we print x, the output is going to be 1.0. Then we have a modulo. A modulo returns the remainder. So it's division, but instead of returning the quotient, it returns the remainder. And the symbol that we are going to be using for a modulo is the percentage key right there. So an example would be x equals 4 modulo 4. If we print x, the output is going to be 0. Another example is x equals 5 modulo 4. If we print x, the output is going to be 1. Then we have floor division. Floor division is just regular division, except you get rid of the decimal, and it always runs down. For floor division, we are going to use 2 of those slash symbols. So an example would be x equals 4 / 4, and we're going to print x, and the output will be 1. Then we have x equals 5 / 4. If we print x, the output will be 1. Next we have exponents. Exponents are the operation of raising one quantity to the power of another. So it's the base, then the symbol, then the exponent. For exponents, we are going to be using 2 of these star symbols. So for an example, we have x equals 4 * 4. If we print x, the output will be 256. Another example is x equals 4 * 2. If we print x, the output is going to be 16. Now that we know the operators, there are some additional things we need to discuss. When we are adding strings together, we call that concatenation instead of adding. Right here, concatenation, when we are adding 2 strings together, this is what it is called. So when we do x equals basket in quotation marks plus ball in quotation marks, and we print x, we will get basketball. And that is called concatenation and not adding. Additionally, the only time we can cross data types is with strings, multiplication operators, and integers. You can't add a string to an integer or subtract it or divide it. Multiplication is the only special one that works with strings and integers in the same operations. So some things that don't work is string var plus integer var, string var minus integer var, string var divided by integer var, and then floor division with integer var and int var. If you want to see all of these possibilities, go to the Math Operators Handbook chapter, and it goes through all of the different combinations. Next, I'm going to show you the plus operator with the print statement. When working with the print statement, you could add things together to have the program printed out. For example, you could do string var equals dogs are cool. See the manual spacing right there. And if you print, this is a string plus string var, it's going to give you, this is a string, and then it's going to add dogs are cool. But you can't cross data types, so you can't add a string to an integer or the other way around. For example, you can't do this one right here. This won't work because you can't have string data on one side and an integer variable on the other. Keep this in mind when you start to work on project 2. I am now going to be moving on to some of the common errors that are made when working with mathematical operators. Remember, an error or bug is something that is wrong with the program. There are two types of errors: syntax, which means that there is a problem with the syntax, and a logic error means that there is something wrong with the program's logic. The syntax for mathematical operators is variable or data, an operator, and another variable or data. So if we mess up one of those pieces, there will be a problem. Common syntax errors are misspelling variables and missing an operator or variable. Common logic errors are using the wrong operator, so sometimes we need to add, but the program subtracts. That's a logic error because the program's logic is backwards. Another common logic error is using the wrong variables. Sometimes we are doing calculations and get lost in what variables stored what, and we use the wrong variable, which will give us the wrong answer. And that is all I have for the practice video, so when you complete the outline, you can upload that to GitHub and submit that. Then you can move on to downloading the mathematical operators drills.py from Canvas and put that file in your mathematical operators project folder and complete and submit that. Once that is done, you can move on to the debug mathematical operators.py by downloading it from Canvas and putting that file in the same folder your other 2 assignments are in. Once you complete these 3 assignments, you will be done with the mathematical operators module. Please let me know if you have any further questions. You can do that by emailing me or attending my student hours, and I will see you all later.